Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Okay, let me get the light right for you guys. How y'all doing? Make sure you go ahead and hit the like. Got a pretty interesting video for you guys today. Welcome in. Welcome in. Also, check in and let us know where you're coming from. Also, check in and let us know where you're coming from. I said we got 5 people, 7 people. Hey, Max, how you doing? Tariq, welcome in. Welcome in. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome in. Today we got a pretty interesting live for you guys. Thank you guys for hitting the like. India, wow, that's very far. Wow, that's very far. Hey, Don John, welcome in. How you doing? How you doing? Thank you guys for hitting the likes. Let's get the likes up and let's wait for everybody to come in. Also, let us know when you're coming in, where you're coming in from. They will play versus the Blazers first round. Surge still ain't playing. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff we want to talk about. Shannon Sharp was funny today. So basically, guys, while we wait for everybody to come in, okay, from Canada, Tariq from Canada, welcome in, welcome in. Okay, somebody asked who's Marco. Okay, Marco, while we wait for people to come in, make sure you guys hit the likes so we get the notifications out so more people are aware. So basically, for the people that are asking who's Marco, so Marco is the co-founder of Dreamerspro. We're college classmates or whatever you want to call it. So Marco is the one that pretty much makes everything run. All I have to do is produce a body. No, but Marco's one half of Dreamerspro. He's very busy. He's a busy guy, and he's also in here. So make sure you say what's up to Marco. He's also with us today. Hey, Arturo, how you doing? How you doing? Okay, from France, welcome in. Hey, how you doing? Marian, welcome in. Marian, welcome in. Let's just wait a little bit more. Let's give it like 2 more minutes for everybody to come on in here, and also say what's up to Marco, and let's wait for people to get in here. And then we can get started. Lorenzo, how you doing? How you doing? Santo Domenico. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Welcome in. Denmark, mixed pleasure. Welcome. I didn't know you're from Denmark. Welcome in. Make sure we get the likes up and let's wait. So while we're waiting for people to come in, Tori, what's good? How you doing, Tori? So while we're waiting for people to come in, just a real quick reminder for you guys. So after we go live, we got a very, very, very important video coming out today on the channel. A very, very important video that you guys don't want to miss. So make sure you just check around and hang around the channel. We got a video coming out after we go live today. So let's wait for everybody to come in. Hey, appreciate that. Appreciate that. J. Daniel Franco, what's good? Sebastian, welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let's just wait. Let's get the likes a little bit. Let's wait for about 1 more minute. Get everybody in here. And then we're going to talk about this. Excuse the cough that I have. Let me address it now. So some people wonder why sometimes I always burp or why I'm coughing. Number one, usually when we shoot videos, we shoot them in the morning. Okay. So when I wake up, I usually drink coffee in the morning, right? I don't drink like an espresso, which I wish I could. I'm drinking coffee. So it's a jug. Okay. So when you drink a lot of coffee, you tend to belch. So that's the reason why we usually shoot our content in the morning. Let me see. Hey, what's good? What's going, Natty Bread? How you doing? Welcome in. Let's give it 1 more minute, and then we'll get it going. I'm in school right now, Tariq. You should be in class, man. Don't miss class to be a part of this live. You can always catch it when we go after we post it. You don't have to miss class for this. But thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. We got about almost 40 people in here. Let's try to get the likes up. Let's wait a little bit longer. Wait 1 more minute. Let's try to get to 50 likes, and we'll get it going. I see y'all got Marco cracking up in there. I don't know. I missed that joke. I'm going to miss class. No. Don't miss class, guys. Don't miss class. I don't want you guys to get in trouble from NJ. Who is this? I'm from the States. Because I'm trying to watch this video. Okay, don't worry, man. We'll give it then we won't stay too long. Butler from the Bahamas. Wow. From the Bahamas. I wonder what it's like out there. Okay, let's give it 30 more seconds. Let's get the likes up and we'll get started. Listening from Compton. Compton was good. Welcome in. We got Compton in the house. So we got some LA people in the house too. Welcome in. Let's give it 20 more seconds and we'll get it started. And then, why do you want to know what state? Doesn't matter. I'm from the East Coast. That's good enough, man. That's good enough. All right, let's get it going. And then we'll get it started. Okay, let's give it 10 more seconds and we'll get it started. Go James has returned. Go James. Okay. From New Jersey. Okay. So let's get it started. I see we got some people coming in. So when people come in, just make sure you get the likes. Let's try to get the likes to 50 likes if we can. So real quick. So before we get started, as usual, if you guys haven't joined the channel, make sure you go ahead and join the channel. The depending on how you're watching this video, just click the $ to join the channel to ensure that first of all, you're going to get a membership badge, and also to ensure I can read your comments once the comments start coming in. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that. And also, Chirac, I see you. And make sure you guys also go ahead and hit the likes to get the likes up so we can get it started that way. Okay, so let's get it started. So I got a lot that I want to talk about right now, right? I've been following basketball for about 2 years. Following it, I'm talking about like producing content around it, although I've been a fan for about 20 years or so, okay? Been following basketball for quite some time, and I've heard and seen a lot of things in that time. I've heard and seen a lot of things in the sport, right? And one of those things I've heard is that the league is not fair. And the NBA is not fair. The NBA is being rigged. These are one of the things that we've heard by fans, right? Some people say that the people that say that are usually salty fans that teams never win. So it's usually the guys that teams never do well, or their favorite player never does well. It's always those guys complaining foul play, foul play, foul play. That's usually what it is. But I've been saying this all season long, and I want to focus on this issue in this particular live here. We're not going to take too much of your time, but this is something I want to talk about. Okay, so first of all, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, since the beginning of the season, have been complaining about the unfair treatment from the referees. Now, some of you guys may be saying, why are you doing this video now? We've already spoken about this. What does it matter? The season is about to end this week. The reason I'm talking about this is because the season is about to end, and these games are going to start mattering in the playoffs. And if the Clippers are not going to get a fair shake from the referees, it's going to hurt them. There's no two ways about it. So let me talk about this for a second. And I got a lot of stats that I want to give you guys today, because we don't like to just do things on emotion. So we like to have some stats to support our arguments here on this channel, not just emotionally driven. So I want to give you guys some stats. Okay. Paul George. Ever since Paul George flamed out in the playoffs last year, ever since he hit the side of the backboard with that shot that he hit in that Game 7, ever since he came out at the end of that Game 7 and said we weren't expected to win, ever since he said that, Paul George has been public enemy number one. Now, to be fair, some of it is of his own doing, because Paul George is the one that gave himself the name Playoff P. So when you lose, obviously, welcome in, Candace, and welcome in from France. Obviously, you're going to draw criticism to yourself when you're the one hyping up yourself and saying, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. It's like Nate Robinson. Okay. You're walking in there. You're not really taking your opponent seriously. He knocks you out. You shouldn't be surprised if the guy knocks you out. You shouldn't be surprised if people make fun of you for talking junk. No surprise there, right? So Paul George, some of the criticism that has come his way, he's deserved it. He's been a big reason that criticism has come that's come his way. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like so we get the notifications out. So I understand that. However, this season is a new season. Paul George coming into this year has been a different player. All of his numbers are up across the board, at least the most important ones. He's scoring more points per game. If I look at PG's production this season, just looking at him this season, Paul George is averaging 23.5 points per game. That's 2.5 more points than he was averaging two more points than he was averaging last season. He's shooting a career high from the field, 47%. He's shooting a career high from the three, 41.6%. He's shooting 87% from the free throw line. He's getting you more rebounds this season. He's getting you more assists this season, and about the same amount of steals. So it's not like as if Paul George is just out there talking and he's not backing it up. The guy's doing his thing. So no one is going to question that. But Paul George has been blacklisted by the referees this season. Him and Kawhi, but especially Paul George. Paul George has not had a fair shake with these referees. Now, some people say when Paul George complains, bro, you shouldn't complain about it. Just deal with it. Like, what's the big deal? Why are you always complaining about it? Just deal with it. But the problem is, if the guy is being treated unfairly, then he should have a reason to explain, to talk about it. Now, some people will say, oh, wait a minute. You're just there making excuses. Anybody that talks about it, you're making excuses. But help me understand something. Just last playoffs, you heard entire teams complaining of unfair treatment by the referees. Last year in the bubble, the Lakers complained about it. Did they not? Were they making excuses or were they pointing to a fact? The Lakers were complaining about it. They complained about the unfair calls in the playoffs. So why is it different when it comes to him? And this is what I'm saying. People are picking and choosing with Paul George. Paul George is not a scrub player. Yes, he's not a champion. Yes, he's never been to the finals. We get it. Yes, maybe he thought too highly of himself. No problem. Maybe he thought that he was on the level of Kawhi Leonard, and he was wrong for that. I agree. I'm not disputing that fact. But you got to be balanced. You got to be balanced with your criticism. Think of this. Imagine you're a parent and you have two kids. And one kid you're always critical of. But the other one, you're never critical of, but both of them are doing things wrong. You got to be balanced about it. Otherwise, they'll say you're a hypocrite. We can't be hypocritical about this thing. Now, some people will say, oh, he's making excuses. Fine. Let me give you some data. And I'm going to give you guys some data. And then I want you to tell me if he's making excuses or what he's saying has some merit to it. So let's talk about this because the referees have not been given the Clippers, but we're going to focus on Paul George, the benefit of the doubt. Let me give you guys some stats. Did some research today. I did some research today on some advanced stats. You guys can go hunt these numbers down. Just go to atlantabasketball.com and you guys can punch in these numbers and figure it out yourself. So I want to give you guys some advanced statistics right now. We're going to be comparing three players: Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden. I want to give you guys some statistics here. Well, let me see what you guys are saying in the comment section. Let me see what you guys are saying before I continue. They hack PG and he gets, oh, it's obvious. It's obvious. But now I actually was able to, I actually have some data to back this up. It's no longer just my opinion. We're going to go off the data here. And the people that are going to say he's making excuses, you need to be quiet. Because if I'm giving you facts and you're still, it means you're just talking nonsense, rubbish. You're just here speaking nonsense. Oh, if I'm giving you facts and you're giving me always not, then you're just here speaking nonsense. Go somewhere else. Go to another channel. But if I'm going to give you facts, then we're going to deal with the facts. I guess you not speak out the way fine. Okay, I'm not sure. Lakers went to the NBA about it. Let me see. LeBron has always complained. Warriors did the same when they were winning. Let me see. Wrote a whole letter to the NBA about no calls. Embiid also gets calls from the refs. I was telling you this before. Okay, so let me get into it here. Let me give you guys some stats. Paul George this season has attempted 176 shots at the rim. Okay, this is within 3 feet now. He's attempted 176 shots at the rim. Anybody here that understands basketball knows this very clearly. You have a higher percentage of getting fouled at the rim than you do on jump shots. We all know this. So no one should be confused about this. If there's anybody confused, why is he talking about the rim? Because that's the place where you're most likely going to get fouled from. You're going to have a higher probability of drawing a foul at the rim than you will on a jump shot or a three-point attempt. We all know this. So that's the reason I'm focusing on shots at the rim. Paul George has attempted 176 shots at the rim. Okay? From those 176 shots just at the rim, I'm now going to give you the total free throws attempted from him from all over the floor, including shots at the rim. Paul George this season has attempted 221 free throws attempts this season. 221. Kawhi Leonard, who they respect a little bit more than Paul George, he's attempted 167 shots at the rim, and he's at the rim, and he's attempted 282 free throws. 10 less shots, more or less, 9 less shots, but he has about 60 more free throw attempts. This is Kawhi Leonard. Okay? Now, James Harden, in the 30 games that he's played with the Brooklyn Nets, I didn't say the whole season. I'm not combining the Houston Rockets, time he spent with the Rockets and the Nets. I'm just talking about the Nets here. James Harden, okay. Where's the stats here? James Harden has attempted 176 shots at the rim. James Harden has attempted 256 free throws. So he's attempted about 30 more free throws, but that's not the end of it. Okay. Paul George has attempted more shots from the field this season than James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has attempted 889 shots. James Harden has attempted about 500 and something shots with just the Brooklyn Nets. But Paul George, of those 900 shots, has only attempted 221 free throws. Paul George is attacking the rim with the same frequency of James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. I want you guys to pay attention to this. Make sure we get the likes to, let's try to get the likes to 100 likes, guys. Let's get the likes up, okay? Paul George has attempted the same amount of shots at the rim as James Harden. He's attempting from those shots 4.3 free throw attempts per game. Of the total amount of shots that Paul George has taken this season, he's attempting 4.3. Kawhi Leonard, although he shoots more, Kawhi Leonard is attempting 5.6. Right? Kawhi Leonard is attempting 5.6. He's only attempted, Kawhi Leonard, if I look at his attempts from at the rim, Kawhi Leonard has attempted, 9 less shots at the rim than Paul George. But he's getting to the free throw line almost one more free throw per game. James Harden, who's attempted less shots than Paul George this season, Harden is attempting 7.5 free throws a game. 7.5. And you got clowns out there, buffoons, talking about Paul George is making excuses. Help me understand how James Harden is attempting 3 more free throws per game than Paul George, when Paul George is taking the same amount of shots as he is at the rim and is taking about 300 more shots than James Harden this season, yet he's attempting less free throws. Help me understand this. Help me understand it. No. Let's make sense of the numbers. I don't want to make sense of your nonsense. I want to make sense of the numbers. People say Paul George is complaining, but the numbers say that his complaints are justified. How is this possible? That the league has been able to get away with this. We're not talking about some dude like Devin Booker that's made one or maybe a reserve all-star team. We're not talking about that dude. We're not talking about a dude that's never made an all-defensive team in the NBA like Devin Booker. We're not talking about that dude. We're not talking about a dude that's never been top 3 in voting for Defensive Player of the Year like Devin Booker. We're not talking about that dude. We're not talking about somebody that's never been top 3 in MVP voting in a regular season like Devin Booker. We're not talking about those dudes. We're talking about Paul George here. You got dweebs running around acting like as if Paul George is a scrub. You got dudes like Devin Booker out here pumping up his chest because maybe he's cool with Drake or whatever it is. Dudes that's never even been to the playoffs. You don't even know if he's good or not. And you got dudes like this talking trash to you? What kind of world are we living in? I haven't even given you guys the full stats yet. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button, guys. Let's get the likes to 100 likes, guys. I got a lot more that I want to say. Because when you hear people complain, don't just slap the guy for saying stop complaining. Find out why he's complaining. It got to the point where they had to send tapes to the league. And if y'all think that this is all of a sudden going to change just because we're going into the playoffs, y'all are bugging. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get better all of a sudden. That's why he says they know what's going on. Who is the they that he's referring to? Who is the they? Since when do we hold past performances of people in the playoffs 2 years ago against them in the present day? Why is this only a Paul George thing? Has Paul George been the only one that's flamed out in the playoffs? No. He's not been the only one. But why is it all of a sudden we're focusing on him? What is going on? What is going on? Why are they on a witch hunt for this guy? Seriously. You ask a guy a question, he answers you, and then you get mad that he answered you with a straightforward answer. Where do we live? Let me continue. Now, I see you guys got a lot of comments. Again, if you guys want to make me read your comment, make sure you guys Ticket TV needs to unblock me. Okay. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Let me go through some of the comments here. Let me see what else you got. James Harden is flopping and PG is not. Let me see what else you got. Let me see what else. Okay. The refs are again. Okay. Listen. Let me see. We knew all of this. Then the Laker fans, you preaching. Okay. Okay. So let me continue. Make sure you guys go ahead and click the join button to join the channel to make sure I can read your comment. Let me continue here. Now, some people may say, wait a minute. There's a perfect explanation as to why this is happening. There's a perfect explanation to this. I can explain it to you. You're saying that, listen, Harden, but you could say, but Harden gets more free throw attempts because you may say PG shoots less threes. You may say that Paul George attempts less threes, so therefore he's getting less free throw calls, right? That's what you would assume. You would assume, okay, maybe the reason, maybe if you try to make sense of it, maybe Paul George is getting less free throw attempts probably because he shoots more threes. And the chances of you getting fouled on a three-point shot are much lower than they are if you get fouled going into the rim. Maybe that can be an explanation, right? Maybe that could be a reason as to why Paul George is getting that. But you'll be wrong. James Harden attempts more threes than Paul George. James Harden is shooting 7.8 threes a game to Paul George's 7.6. So it has nothing to do with threes. James Harden shoots more threes. James Harden shoots more shots at the rim. He gets more calls. Paul George has shot the ball 900 times this season. 919 times. And he's only gone to the free throw line 221 times? He's attempting free throws a game? 3 less than Harden? How is that even possible? He shot more. How is it possible? And people want to say that they're not on a witch hunt for Paul George. They absolutely are. It's the same thing with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has attempted 889 free throw attempts this season. Field goals. He's only attempted 282 free throws. Okay, think about that. He's attempted 800, almost 9, let's round it up to 900 field goals this season. That's Kawhi Leonard now. We're not talking about Paul George, because haters will say, no. Well, you got to understand, Paul George, he talks too much. Paul George, he's not a champion. Paul George, he thinks too highly of himself. Fine, let's remove Paul George. Let's talk about now Kawhi Leonard, who's on a different level. Someone that nobody can question of whether or not he has a right to complain. Kawhi Leonard this season has shot the ball 900 times, 890, 889, 900 times. Let's round it up. Or if you want to be absolutely precise, he shot the ball 889 times. Of those 889 times, Kawhi Leonard is gotten 282 free throws. James Harden has shot the ball 587 times just with the Nets. I didn't say for the whole season, just with the Nets. And he's attempted 222 free throws when the guy ahead of him has attempted 300 more shots. How is that possible? How is this possible? How is it that James Harden is getting more of a benefit of the doubt than Kawhi Leonard? How is this possible? Somebody help me understand this. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button, guys. Let's try to get the likes to 100. How is this possible? How? Because y'all can say, oh, well, Paul George, he complained too much, so he need to go sit down. All right, cool. Kawhi Leonard, how do we explain this? So people are wondering of whether or not the NBA favors certain players over. It's clear. The numbers say they do. And this is something that the Clippers will have to overcome. Because let's just face it. Let's be honest about it. The league wants the Nets and the Lakers. Let's be honest about it. One thing I hate is unfairness. I don't like unfairness. Number one, I don't like people that are not straightforward. If you believe something, say that thing. I don't like people that like to go around the corner. Be straightforward. You know the NBA wants the Lakers and the Nets. We all know this. There's 30 teams in the NBA. How is it possible they talk about one team every single day? How is it possible? Help me. Okay, if it wasn't true, what other scenario do you know that where you have one of the most mediocre employees in a company that gets talked about every day? Where else does this happen? The Lakers, yes, they had injury issues. The Lakers are the number 7 seed in the Western Conference. Whatever you want to say, they had players that were injured. They had this, they had that. The fact of the matter is the Lakers are the 7th seed in the Western Conference, regardless of what the reasons are. You're not going to tell me, oh, players were injured. Players have been injured on everybody's team. Everybody's been injured. Everybody has been injured. Joel Embiid has been injured. Kevin Durant has been injured. Kawhi Leonard has been injured. Paul George has been injured. Giannis Antetokounmpo has been injured. Kevin Durant has been injured. LeBron James has been injured. Anthony Davis. So I don't want to hear any reason about people have been injured. Everybody has been injured. Everybody. But how is it possible that in all of this, on every single day, we're talking about a team, whether they do well or they don't, we still talk about it. Where does that happen at? Who celebrates mediocrity on a daily basis? Who does? Who talks about it? Every single day, you would think that there are only 2 or 3 teams in the NBA. If I came from another planet and I turned on the TV and I started watching basketball, I would think there are only 3 or 4 teams in the NBA with 4 or 5 players. How is this possible? And people sit here and ask me, why do you talk about Kawhi so much? Because nobody else is talking about him. How is this possible? And you think everybody's getting a fair shake? Are y'all kidding me? You think teams are doing well because of the merits? You think they're doing well because of the merits? You saw that game against the Nets and the Clippers. You saw the game when Kawhi Leonard was driving against James Harden and he flopped right in front of that referee and they called a charge. You saw that. Are you serious? And they called it. And you think all of a sudden it's going to change? And people want to puff up their chests when you know you have somebody in the back working for you? Huh? How? How is this fair? I don't get it. I don't get it. You know you have people working behind you for the scenes, but you come out and act like as if it's all you. Look at that game against the Nuggets and the Lakers. Look at that game, and you tell me, is that a normal circumstance that AD runs into the point guard of the Nuggets and they call an offensive foul on him? How is that normal? And people want to make excuses for it. Lakers in 5, Lakers in 6, Lakers in 2. Listen, I was a Kobe fan, but the one thing I don't like is unfairness. I don't like unfairness. Kobe knows what they tried to do for him and the Lakers back then. He knows that. We know that. I'm a Kobe fan, but I know it. We won't get into the details. With those Lakers and the other California team, I won't get into the details. We won't get into that. Kobe benefited by it. He benefited by it. And now all of a sudden, you have another team and people are complaining on the team like, listen, we're not getting a fair shake. And now all of a sudden, oh, you're making excuses. Go sit your clown self down and go sit in the corner somewhere. What type of clown comment is that? You making excuses. What are y'all talking about? Enough is enough. It's not fair. It's not fair. It makes no sense. Now, do I have 100% proof? Thank you for Tori. Do I have 100% proof? No. But you can look at the information and see what is going on. You remember that call against Draymond Green in the finals? You know that was unjustified. Y'all know that. You know that was unjustified, and yet it happened. Even Stephen A. Smith had to say, oh, the NBA is sending out a stimulus package. What do you think he means by that? What do you think he meant when he said the NBA sent a stimulus? What do you think he was talking about? He was talking about blatant cheating. That's what he was talking about. It's only the I don't even know what to call them that will interpret that in another way. They must think maybe it was Zeus or somebody that sent it in. The stimulus. I wonder what he means. Stimulus packet. Wonder what he means. Y'all know that wasn't a fair call, yet they still got it. It's not fair. And this is something this team is going to have to overcome. This is something the Clippers are going to have to overcome. It's not going to go away. Let me ask you guys a question. Real quick. The NBA has been around for at least 40, 50 years. The NBA has been around for like 40 to 50 years. Help me understand. How is it in the 50 years of basketball, 40 to 50 years of basketball, how is it possible that it's only now, just last year, that they were able to think of a tournament like the play-in tournament just last year? How is it possible? When did the NBA management, when did they get smart how did they get so smart all of a sudden? How? Since when did they get so smart? When did they get so smart all of a sudden? You see, somebody saying, cry me a river. You know what I realized something? You know what I realized? The people that benefit from something never want you to talk about it. As long as it benefits you, you don't want to talk about it. As long as it's working in your favor, you don't want to talk about it. But let the shoe be on the other foot. All of a sudden, you want to talk about it. It never matters until it affects you. It never does. It never matters until it affects you. Oh, stop complaining about it. Because it's not affecting you. That's why. You want to talk about lockdown? When something affects you, then all of a sudden it's an issue. But when it has no effect on you, oh, no. What are you talking? Stop complaining about it. It means not, oh, what are you talking about? Stop complaining. Has nothing to do with you. That's why. Anybody that can see that and say, oh, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Just get over it. It means nothing. It's because you're not affected by it. And you're disingenuous. Because if it was happening to you, you'd be complaining. It's that simple. We all know this. Think about Nate Robinson. Let me talk about Nate Robinson for a second. I know you guys think I'm not going off today. I'm just keeping it light. Let me talk about Nate Robinson. Let me tell you something. If I was Nate Robinson, and I got a friend, y'all are my friends, and I go out there and I get knocked out in a fight, and you start laughing and you're my friend, we're not friends no more, I'm swinging on you. If you say you're my friend and you see something bad happen to me, you're not my friend. You're not my friend. The only people that laughed at Nate Robinson were people that were not affected by something like that. If that happened to some people that were laughing at him, if that happened to their sons or their daughters or their fathers or their brother, they won't be laughing. You saw Steven Jackson laughing at him. If that happened to Steven Jackson's brother, would he be laughing? Hell no. Why? Because it's close to him. If it happened to Steven Jackson's best friend, would he be laughing? No, because he's connected to it. It's the same thing with people saying, stop complaining, because it doesn't affect you. That's what it is. It's a way to try to invalidate other people's feelings because it doesn't affect you. That's all it is. Just because you don't care doesn't make it less valid. And that's what's happening right now with the league. This was happening. This was happening. The Clippers are not going to get a fair shake. Back to the play-in tournament. The only reason they started that play-in tournament was because they wanted to see Zion in the playoffs. That's the only reason. NBA's been around for over 4 decades. That's the only reason. They wanted to see if they could get Zion into the play-in tournament. That's why. And even at that, he still couldn't get in. This year again, he's still not going to be in the playoffs. Maybe he is. I don't know. He's not going to have a high chance to get in the playoff. That's the reason you think they did it because, they want to see because they want Portland. They wanted the Portland Trailblazers in the playoffs. You think that's the reason why they came up with the play-in tournament? Because they wanted the Blazers in the playoff or the Memphis Grizzlies in the playoffs? You think that's the reason? Or the Minnesota Timberwolves? Y'all think that's the reason? Or the Charlotte Hornets? It's because of the markets. So you know everybody's not getting. Even NBA owners are complaining, saying there's no parity in the league. They're saying there's no parity. So all I'm saying is to say this. There are a lot of things that I can't explain. Let me say this, one final thing before I let you guys go. And I go through some of your comments. I told you guys today earlier, for the people that missed it, make sure you get the likes up. Let's try to get the likes to 100, 120 likes, guys. I told you guys earlier today, we're going to be releasing a video later on today on the channel after we do this live. So you guys want to make sure you stick around and check out that video when we go live. You don't want to miss that video. Trust me. You don't want to miss that video. Trust me, you don't want to miss that video. But what I'm beginning to notice is this. As somebody in the media industry, as an independent company, there are a lot of things going on that I don't understand. A lot of things going on that I don't understand. A lot of things that I don't get. Just yesterday, or 2 days ago, or was it last week, the end of last week, LeBron was out. He said he would never be 100% again. Go search on YouTube. Adrian Wojnarowski said it. And he had the same exact talking point that Shannon Sharpe had. Having difficulties cutting, pushing off of his heel. That's what I heard. Now all of a sudden he's back. Feeling great. It's a 5-day window. How can you be feeling horribly? You can't make cuts. You can't get to the basket. You'll never be 100% again. And 5 days later, you're feeling great? What? How is this possible? Help me understand something. How is it that Shannon Sharpe and Adrian Wojnarowski have the same information, and then a few days later, no. Y'all got it wrong. What was happening was he was training and he was doing very well, but that's not what you said. So somebody got their information mixed up somewhere. And I definitely want you guys to check out that video that we got coming up, because it's going to be crazy. Let me say this real quick. These playoffs, the season is ending this week, guys. The season is ending this week. The playoffs begin, on May 22nd. We're going to be on there. You see Candace, a lot of these people on Dreamerspro Max. If you guys want to be with us while we chat live during games, make sure you sign up to Dreamerspro Max, a platform you can start basketball discussions. As I said it before, go live during games, consume content you're not going to get on the channel. You want to make sure you're a part of that. Because if you guys want the raw reactions during those playoff games, make sure you sign up to Dreamerspro Max. Now, if you do it now, you get 7 days of access to check it out. But if you wait till I'm going to sign up on the 21st, there's almost 7-day access. You got to sign up and pay on the spot. So I'm letting you guys know now that that's available. We will be doing lives too to react to games, but it'll be the day after, like in the afternoon, the same way they do it on TV. You guys don't want to miss out on that. I'm noticing I'm seeing a lot of comments. Let me go through some of your comments. Let me see what you guys are saying. No. LeBron not the GOAT. Listen, this thing, somebody just said LeBron not the GOAT. We got a video coming out today. After this live, you don't want to miss. Trust me, you guys don't want to miss that video. Trust me. Let me see. It's a money thing. Yeah, it is a money thing. Let me see. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Okay. Let me see what you got. Okay. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Let me go through some of your comments. Hi from, okay, I'm not sure of the country with the flag. I'm not sure what that is. All the teams that get some rest for these players. Thanks a lot, man. I know some of y'all wanted me to do a Stephen A. impression. I don't have the energy to go into Stephen A. Smith mode right now. Stephen A. Smith is just there, man. He's saying this. I don't even know what Stephen A. Smith is saying these days, to be quite honest with you. AD and Braun will embarrass tonight's game. Will embarrass tonight's game against NY. And they said again that they're injured. Who's injured now? Who's injured? Who is injured? I don't understand these injuries. Who is injured? Who is AD injured again? How? How did he get injured? Did he get injured when he was sleeping? How? Actually, you know what? I don't even want to hear nothing about these injuries. I'm not even interested about hearing them. Some people say bench Zubac, please. Well, it looks like Serge is probably going to come back this week. So it looks like the Clippers are going to have to figure out their rotation. I think Serge is going to come back this week. So I think that's coming in. Let me see. Sixers fouled the Clippers various times yet. Yeah, that's the name of the game. Third and fourth spot going into the playoffs is great. Yeah, I don't think the Clippers are going to fall to the 4 unless something happens. But I don't think the Clippers are going to fall to the 4th seed. In my personal opinion, I don't think that's going to happen. Serge coming back on Friday. Yeah, he may come back on one of those days. You have tonight. Yeah, he may come back on one of those days. I'm not sure when, but I think Serge is going to come back this week. He better come back this week. LeBron is playing with you all. He'll be ready. No. LeBron is not playing with you. It's people in the media that are playing with you because you rely on people in the media to give you the right information. Last time I checked, the majority of us don't have LeBron James's number. I don't have LeBron James's number, so I can't text him to find out. The media is supposed to inform you. Serge should rest for the playoffs. No, Serge needs to get his butt out there and play. Serge has been resting enough. Last time I saw Serge, he was dancing in his living room. So Serge is fine. Serge needs to go play. PG dropping 40. I hope he plays well. LeBron is going ham in the playoffs this year, and I'm worried. We'll see. It depends on who he plays. If the Lakers are going to play the Phoenix Suns in the first round, then I'm definitely picking the Lakers. If they meet the Clippers in round 2, as I said all season long, I'm sticking with the Clippers. Even if the Clippers lose, I'm still sticking with the Clippers because I think the Clippers can beat them. I think matchups make series, and I think the Lakers are in the Clipper. The Clippers are a bad matchup for the Lakers. Now, I could be wrong, but we got to see. That's what I think, right? Because now they're going to go head-to-head. Could the Clippers get knocked out on the way? Sure. Anybody can be beaten. But we got to see. So that's the matchup I'm picking. You know, Skip Bayless is picking the Clippers. I'm picking the Clippers too. Let me see. Clippers versus Lakers in round 2. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. The Clippers suck. Okay. Drummond is a bust. No, he's Kareem. Caesar, that's a high problem. Okay, so anyway, guys, I think I've answered everybody's comment here. Again, be on the lookout for that video that we have coming out. Again, if you guys also want to live chat during the playoffs, make sure you guys go ahead and check out Dreamerspro Max. We're going to link it at the bottom of this video here at the end of this video so you guys don't miss that. If you haven't joined the channel, make sure you go ahead and join the channel and be on the lookout for that video, as I said before. Once again, thank you guys for your attention. We'll definitely catch you guys on the next episode. Take it easy, guys, and have a good one. All right, peace.